So welcome, my name is Amanda River and this little presentation is about sibling aggression in black-legged kittiwake chicks. This work was carried out with Professor Tom Dickens at Middlesex University, London, and in our lab we draw on evolutionary theory, and I also bring in elements of behaviourism from psychology. I currently work within the psychology department at the University of the West of England in Bristol, UK, and if you'd like to get in touch with me, my email is on the screen. To be clear, there are two types of kittiwake. My bird is the black-legged kittiwake, and kittiwakes produce between 1 and 3 chicks, the mean being just under 2. Kittiwakes hatch asynchronously, i.e. one before the other. We refer to the first chick as the alpha and the second as the beta. So given the mean clutch sizes, a first hatched alpha chick may end up being the only chick in the nest, or it might end up with competition of a beta sibling. Alphas are known to attack their beta sibling in the form of repeated pecking, where the alpha will direct forceful jabs into the head and neck of the beta chick, as can be seen in the images here. In some cases, this can result in the death of the attacked chick, which we call siblicide. Point to note is the death doesn't occur on the nest. What actually happens is the alpha pecks, and the beta eventually just tries to get up and leave, as can be seen in the bottom right picture here. For any beta that does this is pretty unfortunate because kittiwakes nest on very tiny cliff ledges. There's no place to go of safety, and leaving the nest results in them falling over the edge of the ledge to their death. Why does the alpha attack? Well, evolutionary theory in a nutshell would tell us that this is the alpha competing with its sibling for resources, in this case food, from the parent to maximise its own direct fitness. And experimental studies have found very strong links between food availability and sibling aggression. Does the beta attack back? No, it doesn't. Instead, it uses appeasement function behaviours when attacked. It keeps its head down, hides its beak, turns away. Draw your attention to the images on the screen showing it doing just this. So as a beta chick, using appeasement is a really good adaptation to living on a cliff ledge. We can apply some evolutionary theory here again, looking at game theory, which is the idea that selection may favour the evolution of both aggressive but also non-aggressive strategies in conflicts. So I was really interested to learn more about the behavioural responses of beta chicks, as this has been pretty understudied. I also noticed that no studies have been using any sequential analysis to study the interactions between alpha and beta kittiwake chicks. So in our lab, we had a big archive of footage from 2018 to 2021 breeding seasons. And I went through all of this and I found all the videos of 2 chick nests where there was some conflict. And all of these videos were taken at the Aztec Bay site in Lundy, on Lundy Island, just off the North Devon coast, which you can see here in the photo. We ended up with 18 samples, so a note of caution, this is quite a small sample size. And we put together a behavioural catalogue which had 9 behaviours that occur. Some of these were conflict, appeasement, food gaining behaviours. I also included some siblicide behaviours, and I also included defecation as a proxy measure of satiety. Coded all of those videos and ran some analysis. So we had 2 types of analysis. For inferential analysis, we used Mann-Whitney-U, and we tested for asymmetry in the distribution of alpha and beta behaviours. We found alpha chicks were consistently the aggressor. This is good, this is in line with the literature, and it's an indicator that our colony is not atypical. Eating events were evenly distributed across alpha and beta chicks, which suggests that siblings were being equally provisioned. And this was revealing in that despite the pecking attacks, beta is still managing to feed at the same rate as alpha. Defecation was also evenly distributed, suggesting that satiation levels were the same for alpha and betas. We didn't observe any siblicide, not surprising, it's quite hard to see. We performed sequential analysis using Boris, and the figure on the left shows our kinematic diagram, which shows behavioural transitions of alpha and beta chicks preceding and following pecking attacks. The peck is highlighted there in yellow. We ran permutation tests to determine whether any of these transitions were significant, and the figure on the right shows the transitions between alpha and beta chicks, and you can see there are 2 distinct clusters of relationship. We also see that betas use appeasement behaviours in response to attacks but not preceding them, suggesting that beta does not use the behaviours unless the alpha attacks, so it's not using them preventatively. So what does all this mean? Well, our findings suggest that the Aztec Bay colony was not under any food stress. There is an alternative explanation, which is that there may have been some food stress, but that the parents of these chicks were finding enough food despite this. And a possible explanation there is that parents that produce 2 chicks may just be better quality parents with the ability to successfully provision a larger clutch. Either way, no siblicide was recorded, and the implications of this are to consider whether under food stress would pecking intensify, and if so, would beta appeasement continue to have an effect on alphas. Something really interesting is that the transition data implies that outside of feeding associated behaviours, much of chick behaviour is just completely random. Kittiwake chicks have a fairly limited selection of behaviours, and producing them at random may just be a part of a developmental trajectory that enables chicks to learn specific stimulus response patterns under food and reward and punishment. For my future research, I'm going to start looking at climatic variation and the relationship with this in line with behaviours between chicks, and also behaviours between parents and chicks. As you can see from the photos here that were both taken at the entrance to the site, the climate varies quite a lot. These were taken at the same time of day, 2 days apart. So just finally, if you're interested in this work, then there are a couple of publications that we've had from it. And thank you for taking an interest, and thank you for attending this talk.